Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in life when the noise of the world begins to fade, when the fast pace of our youth slows down, and we find ourselves confronted with something far more profound than just the ordinary hustle of daily existence. As we grow older, we're confronted with a new reality, a reality that's hard to ignore but often goes unnoticed, the silent warnings of God. It's easy to believe that in the bustling energy of youth, we have all the time in the world, that we can push the boundaries, ignore the signs, and live in a state of perpetual motion. But as the years accumulate and our bodies grow older, there is something far more profound at play, a deeper message that we are called to hear. It's a warning, yes, but one delivered not with loud thunderous voices or dramatic signs, but with subtle whispers and moments of stillness that we might easily miss if we are not paying attention. God's silent warnings often come at a time when we're at a crossroads, when we are about to make a decision that could change the course of our lives forever. They are delivered not with force, but with grace, not with punishment, but with compassion, urging us to stop and reflect on our path. The question is, are we listening? Old age, my friends, is not simply a period of life where we get closer to the inevitable end. It's not just about counting the years or tallying the accomplishments. Old age is, in many ways, a gift, an invitation to hear God's voice more clearly, to recalibrate our lives, and to ask ourselves the questions we may have been too busy to ask before. What have we done with our time? What have we done with the opportunities that God has given? In our youth, we are often blinded by ambition, by the drive to conquer the world, to accumulate wealth, success, and fame. We think we have all the time in the world to get our priorities in order, to think about what truly matters. But as the years wear on, and the body begins to slow down, those distractions fade. The questions we once ignored rise to the surface, and suddenly we're faced with the reality of who we are and what we've become. This is where God's silent warning is found, not in the whirlwind of our daily lives, but in the quiet moments when everything else fades away. Some may dismiss this as mere getting older. Some may say, well, of course, you get more reflective as you age. But I tell you, there is something more. These are the moments when we are closest to the truth of our existence. These are the moments when we have the greatest opportunity to see what God has been trying to tell us all along. But the danger is this: not everyone listens. The world, particularly in our modern age, is full of distractions. We're bombarded by noise, by social media, by the constant need to keep moving, to keep achieving. It's easy to look at old age as a time to relax, to sit back and let the world pass by without reflecting on the deeper meaning of what is happening. It's easy to ignore those quiet moments and keep living as if there is still endless time. But God is speaking in those moments, and He's speaking to you. The question is, are you listening? Let's be clear, these silent warnings are not some form of judgment or condemnation. They are God's way of guiding us, of steering us back to what really matters. They are a call to repentance, a call to humility, a call to love more deeply, and to forgive more freely. They are a chance to look back on our lives and say, I want to make things right. I want to leave a legacy that reflects the love and grace of God. Now, don't get me wrong, old age is not easy. It's not always filled with wisdom and peace. It comes with its own challenges: physical decline, the loss of friends and family, the uncertainty of the future. But here's the thing: God uses those challenges to teach us and warn us. In our youth, we may think we are invincible. We think we are in control. But as the years pass, we are reminded of our fragility, our dependence on God, and the reality that we are not in control of everything. This, too, is a message. It's a call to surrender, to trust in God more fully, and to realize that the things we once thought were so important may not be important at all. Look, friends, God doesn't need to shout at us. He doesn't need to force us into submission. He is a loving Father, and He speaks to us with patience and kindness, waiting for us to come to Him. But as we age, we are given fewer chances to make things right. Time is no longer on our side. And so when those quiet moments come, when you feel a twinge of regret, a whisper in your heart, or a stirring in your soul that is God's way of reaching out to you, are you listening? The truth is, old age is a precious gift, but it's also a reminder. It's a reminder that this world is not our home, that we are merely passing through. It's a reminder that there is more to life than the pursuit of pleasure or success. It's a reminder that we were created for something greater, that we were made to love and to serve others, that we were created to honor God with our lives. And as we grow older, we also face the reality that we may have less time to fulfill that purpose. Some may look back and feel the weight of regret, wishing they had lived differently, wishing they had spent more time with loved ones, wishing they had made different choices. But this is not a hopeless place to be, because in God's silence, there is also hope. His warning is not condemnation, it is an invitation to turn back to Him. Let me say it plainly. God's silent warnings are not there to make us feel guilty or ashamed. They are there to help us recognize the incredible opportunity we have in our later years to reflect on our lives and, if necessary, to change the course of our future. It's never too late to turn to God. It's never too late to listen to His voice. And as we grow older, He will continue to speak to us in quiet, gentle ways, reminding us that it's not too late to make a difference, to love others, and to live in a way that honors Him. So I ask you, especially those of you who are in the later years of life, are you listening? Are you heeding God's silent warnings? Are you using this time not just to reflect on your past, but to prepare for the future, to make amends, to restore relationships, and to deepen your relationship with God? You see, God's silent warnings are a sign of His mercy, not His judgment. He is calling us to be more than we've been. He is calling us to live with purpose, to live with love, and to live with the knowledge that this life is fleeting. We don't know how much time we have left, but we know that every day we are given is a gift, a chance to make things right, to live according to His will, and to leave a legacy that honors Him. As you grow older, you may face many challenges. You may face the fear of the unknown, the pain of loss, and the reality that your time on this earth is limited. But let me tell you something powerful. God is with you every step of the way. In your old age, He is not absent. He is closer than ever, and His silent warnings are not there to harm you, but to guide you into a life that is truly worth living. So I implore you, listen carefully. Don't let the distractions of the world drown out the voice of God. Don't wait until it's too late. Now is the time to listen. Now is the time to reflect. Now is the time to change. God is speaking. Are you listening? As we grow older, we find ourselves in a season of life that's often marked by reflection. The busyness of youth, filled with the pursuit of success, pleasure, and achievement, fades away, and in its place, a quieter rhythm emerges. This quiet is not necessarily a sign of weakness or failure, as some might think. Rather, it can be a profound invitation from God to listen more closely, to reflect more deeply, and to realign our hearts with His will. The truth is, old age brings with it an opportunity, a sacred one, to hear God's silent warnings. These warnings may not come in the form of thunderous voices or dramatic visions, but through the quiet moments where our soul feels nudged, unsettled, or compelled to seek clarity. God, in His infinite wisdom, often speaks most powerfully in the stillness. In the earlier stages of life, we are caught up in the rush of living. We chase after the next big thing, whether it's a career milestone, financial security, or social status. We are consumed by the ambition to prove ourselves, to make our mark in the world, and to push ahead, believing that time is on our side. But as the years pass and our bodies slow down, the distractions that once dominated our attention begin to fade. It's in these quiet years that God's gentle voice becomes clearer, offering us the opportunity to pause and reflect on the road we've traveled. Old age, rather than a time of decline, can become a spiritual awakening. The gift of time that we might have once taken for granted becomes a moment for deeper introspection. What have we done with the time we've been given? As our bodies may no longer move as swiftly as they once did, as our minds may take longer to process thoughts and memories, there's a call to turn inward, to ask questions that we've ignored in the rush of youth. Have we lived in a way that truly honors God? Have we made choices that reflect His love and grace? Or have we been consumed by our own desires and ambitions? It's in this period of life that we are most likely to hear God's still, small voice urging us to consider our legacy and our true purpose. God doesn't need to shout at us. He doesn't need to demand our attention with grandiose displays of power. He's been speaking all along, through the gentle whispers of our conscience, through the quiet moments of reflection, and through the circumstances of life that we sometimes fail to see as his hand at work. But as we age, we're more likely to notice these whispers. The distractions fade, and the noise of the world grows quieter. And in that quiet, God speaks to our hearts, guiding us toward repentance, reconciliation, and realignment with his will. He is inviting us to slow down, to listen, and to return to what truly matters. In old age, the questions that once seemed unimportant, questions about the meaning of life, the nature of relationships, and the ultimate purpose of our existence, take on greater significance. We may look back on our lives and wonder if we've spent our time wisely. Have we loved our families well? Have we been good stewards of the blessings we've received? Have we used our time on earth to make a difference? Or have we squandered it on things that will eventually pass away? These are the moments when God's silent warnings become opportunities for transformation. They are moments when we can ask for forgiveness, let go of past regrets, and reorient ourselves toward a life that honors God and serves others. Too often, we think that time is endless, that we will have infinite opportunities to change, to make things right, or to turn back to God. But the reality is that time is fleeting. As we grow older, we become more acutely aware of how limited our time truly is. In this awareness, God's voice becomes all the more urgent. He's not condemning us for our past mistakes. He's calling us to take this moment seriously, to recognize the preciousness of the time we have left, and to use it wisely. This is not a call to despair, but a call to hope, a call to embrace the grace that God offers, no matter how far we may have strayed. In old age, we also begin to understand that the things we once thought mattered the most, money, success, recognition, are not the things that truly bring fulfillment. God's silent warnings remind us that true contentment comes not from accumulating wealth or power, but from living a life rooted in love, humility, and faith. It is a reminder that the most important thing is not what we accomplish, but who we become in the process. And in this season of life, we are given the opportunity to refocus on what is eternal, to embrace the quiet peace that comes from knowing that our worth is not in what we've done, but in who we are in God's eyes. So, as we grow older, let us not fear the quiet moments. Let us not be disheartened by the slowing of our bodies or the passing of time. Instead, let us recognize these moments as sacred. In the stillness, God is speaking to us, calling us back to Him, urging us to reflect on the life we've lived, and inviting us to realign our hearts with His purposes. And in listening, we can discover the peace that only He can provide, a peace that transcends the noise of this world and leads us into a deeper understanding of His love and grace. As we journey through life, the passage of time becomes more tangible with each year. The energy of youth slowly gives way to the inevitability of age. Yet as the years accumulate, we are faced with a crucial and often overlooked truth. The older we get, the fewer opportunities we have to make significant changes in our lives. Time, it seems, grows short. But rather than seeing this as a cause for despair, it should be a powerful reminder to use the time we have left wisely. In fact, it is in these later years that God's silent warnings become most crucial, urging us to take stock of how we are living and what we are prioritizing. God's silent warnings, especially in old age, are not there to condemn us or make us feel hopeless. They are, in fact, an invitation to redemption and change. God does not abandon us when we reach a certain age, nor does He withdraw His grace as we grow older. Quite the opposite, His whispers become more urgent, but they are filled with compassion and love. His silent call is an invitation to make things right before time runs out. Old age, often associated with decline, should not be seen as merely a time of physical deterioration. It is so much more. Yes, our bodies may grow frail and our minds may become less sharp, but our purpose remains unchanged. The opportunity to make a difference in our lives and in the lives of others is still within our grasp, even if the hands on the clock are moving faster than we'd like. We are called to make the most of the time we have left. It's not about living with regret for the past, but about taking the wisdom we've gained and channeling it into meaningful action. It may be the chance to mend broken relationships that we've neglected for years, to apologize for past wrongs, or to forgive those who have hurt us. It may be an opportunity to deepen our relationship with God, to seek a more intimate, prayerful connection with Him that we didn't have the time or energy for when we were younger. Perhaps it's a call to live more intentionally, focusing on what truly matters, serving others, leaving a legacy that reflects love, kindness, and faith. The message here is clear. Now is the time to act. It's so easy to think that we can always put things off, that there will always be more time, that tomorrow will be a better day to make changes. But the truth is, tomorrow is never guaranteed. Our lives are fragile, and the window of opportunity to make changes, to right the wrongs, and to pursue what is truly meaningful is far smaller than we realize. The call to listen to God's silent warnings is urgent. It's not just a call to reflect on the past, but a call to act in the present. Every day we have left is a precious gift, and we are called to use it wisely. Old age, in this sense, is not just a time to reflect, but a time to live more purposefully. God is still at work in us, even in the later years. Our greatest acts of service and our most meaningful contributions might still lie ahead of us. But to experience this, we must be willing to listen carefully to God's guidance, which often comes in the quiet moments when we stop to think, when we stop rushing, when we allow His voice to reach our hearts. God's call in old age is also a call to recognize our own limitations and to humble ourselves before Him. The idea of controlling everything, of making things happen on our own, becomes more and more futile as we age. Our health may falter, our strength may wane, but in our weakness, we become more aware of our need for God's strength. It is in our vulnerability that we are most open to His guidance, and in this humility we can finally embrace the truth that we are not in control of everything. What we can control is how we choose to live out the days we have left, and we have the power to choose to live for something greater than ourselves. The time to act is now. God is calling us to live with intention and purpose, to honor Him with the time we have remaining, and to make the most of every moment. We may not be able to undo the past, but we can certainly shape the future with the choices we make today. Old age is not the end of the road. It is a new chapter, a chance to reflect, to rebuild, and to begin anew. Let us listen to God's silent call in these later years, and let it guide us into a life of meaning, purpose, and service that honors Him. The message is clear, and it is one of hope. Time may be running out, but as long as we have breath in our lungs, we have the opportunity to act. Every day is a new chance to live more purposefully, to restore what has been broken, and to align our hearts with God's will. Let us not waste this time, but instead, listen carefully to His gentle guidance, embrace the opportunities He places before us, and honor Him with the life we still have left.